Hi, it's the old duffer again. I want to try and get a bit done on the old CT. It's been sat here for months and months and months, and I've just not got round to doing it. It's been working on the RL, so I'm going to turn the camera around a bit. So I want to get the barrel and piston on. We've got to do some head work. So I'll get you around so you can see what I'm doing, and then we'll go from there. Right, hopefully you can see what I'm going to be doing down here to get the barrel and piston on. Now, pistons, they got notches in. I'll come around here so you can see it, and one of them has got in written on it, meaning inlet valve. So that's the way the piston goes up on the conrod, because inlet valve on these is on the top. Now I leave plenty of rags stuffed in here, because the little circlips for the gudgeon pin are so small. If they go ping and inside the crankcase it's an engine strip, whereas if they go pinging around a workshop because they hit the rag, you can just get another one. It saves an awful lot of misery. So we'll get a gudgeon pin and a little bit of oil and then pop it on. I had to have hoped to have done a lot more on this, but the lorry is taking up a lot of my time at the moment, so I thought, right, let's do some of this today. So first things first, that should go in that hole. It should be a nice fit like that. Lovely, look at that, perfect. So we need a bit of oil on the gudgeon pin, and don't be frightened to oil the piston. I'm sort of coming through the frame because I'm working on the other side. Plenty of oil. Yeah, it'll smoke a bit when we first start it up, so what, no big deal. Right, making sure that the in is at the top, we take our piston and slide it down here, and hopefully my rags will hold the everything in place while I'm wiggling this on. Voila, push that right home. Now I've put one circlip in already, so that's only one I've got to now lose across the workshop, which makes life a little bit easier. Shouldn't chuckle because it's happened in the past. So and they are tiny things on these little engines, but almost like a piece of wire. There's a bit of rag. I don't want it going down that hole either, so let's see if we can pop it in. The other side wasn't too much trouble. Just make sure that's seated in its little groove in there. Perfect. That's in. Hurrah! Now then, like an idiot, I need a bit of welding wire. Don't go away. I will go and get a bit of welding wire to hook round the chain to pull it up through the cylinder. Right. Take a bit of rag out, just hook a bit of welding wire around there for a minute. Now obviously we don't want all the rag in there. So I'll pull that out. I had that stuffed in earlier when I was cleaning up the gasket faces to try and minimise the amount of stuff that went down the inside the engine, hopefully none. Right. Right then, what we need is a cylinder. Right, now where we had this rebored, you can see that the cylinder line is quite thin compared to what it used to be. I've got a replacement brand new one of these anyway, so if it's gone wrong. Sammy Miller did a similar conversion on the TL125 and upped it to a 150, and the liner was thin, probably about like this, but it never created any problems. So and this is a conversion done in the States, so that, we just don't do it here because we obviously don't have CTs here. And regards piston rings, you just want to make sure that the ring gaps aren't all on top of each other. Otherwise that can get a little bit, you might get a bit of blow by, as it were. Now, wheels down on there like that. What you need to do is put your bit of welding wire in there to pull your chain through. And slide this, and there is a lead in on the cylinder to get the rings in, but it is a wee bit tricky. Pull the chain out the other side. Wiggle, wiggle. Come on. And that is one piston in the hole. Obviously remember to put your gasket, cylinder base gasket, and the rubber O-ring that goes around the timing chain aperture before you put the barrel on, because that could end up being a little bit embarrassing. Just one up. There we go. So piston in at the top, because that's where the inlet goes. Your chain is out. Marvellous. And that's that bit done. Now I don't know whether you remember, if I come around that side, I can show you what work we've got to do on the head, and we'll get set up and do it. But basically, if I put that in the view of the camera, everybody goes on about, oh, you need a big valve head. Well, this head is all valve and spark plug, but the inlet is tiny. I'll put it in so you can see it, idiot. There you go. I barely get my finger in there, yet it's a 27mm valve and a 23 on the exhaust. So we're going to remove some of this material in that port and hopefully make the thing breathe a bit better. So I'll go and get set up for that, and I'll show you how crude it is. It is not very complicated, I can assure you. Right, now I've got ear defenders on. This is going to sound a bit wretched, but basically this is what they call a burr, a tungsten carbide burr. This is one for steel. You can use it on alley, but the biggest trouble is they do clog up a bit, so you have to stop and clean them out. But the positive is it's not too aggressive and you take too much material out in one go, because I've marked out where I want the hole. So I'll get started on this and you'll see what I mean. Right. Don't want to take too much out the back. If I bring that over to the camera, you can see I have scribed a line on there roughly where I need to come out to, and it's going all right actually. I think it must be because it's cast alley rather than sort of ordinary stock you'd buy. So I'm going to keep going and see how well it goes. Have a look. Okay. Obviously the trick is not to take too much material out. Where we go on? That the hardened valve seat drops out. It shouldn't do, but I need to get a bit more out of there yet, so the poor old thing can breathe a bit. Yeah, if I show you, we can focus on it. That's what I mean. It clogs up. See all those bits of alley? I'll go and get a squirt in there, see if that helps a wee bit. Yeah, I'm going to change bit as well. Right. Oh, battery's flat. Go and get a battery. Right, battery number 2. Where are we? Okay, give that a bit more. It's certainly better than it was by a long way. Yeah, I think we're trying to get any lumps and bumps out of it now to smooth it out a bit. I'm probably wiring way too much because it wasn't that smooth to start with. But, see if we can do a reasonable job. That's not too bad, I don't think. Right. I'll give it a good wash off and we'll come back to it, but that is now considerably bigger than it was right the way through. Not taken out too much material. Don't want to make it weak, but yeah, I want to go and chuck this in the parts washer, and we'll come back to that shortly, as they say. Right, there you go. I don't know whether you can see that very well. It's certainly a bigger channel by a long way in there than it ever was. Now it may be small for a reason, or maybe I'm about to find out the hard way why it's made that way, but I will do another video of putting the head together and getting the head on and timing it up so that makes sense. But I'll cut this one short now while I go and sort all the bits out.